So, is an asteroid headed towards Earth? Well, first of all, there are always asteroids headed towards Earth. What we care about is whether they'll actually hit us or have a near miss.
Really?
I'd rather think of them as near hits.
You guys like this guy? I am on the fence about him. I don't like him particularly. I think he's brimming with emotions, right? He can't keep in his emotions about the way he feels about certain topics, and he's kind of like a child, a really smart, really large, husky child, in my opinion. But what the heck do I know? It's the end of the Earth. Send the asteroids. Let's hear it from Mr. Tyson. Bah!
Because if you nearly miss something, to me that means you hit it. Anyhow, there's an asteroid recently discovered.
So if you miss it, you hit it. If you hit it, you miss it. Okay. If I fall out of a helicopter and I hit the water, that means I hit the pavement. Because if you hit it, you miss it. And you miss it, you hit it.
Anyhow, there's an asteroid recently discovered, 2024 YR4. That's its designation. And you know that was discovered late in the year 2024 because the letters are late in the alphabet. In fact, I think it actually puts us in December for 2024. The size of the asteroid is still uncertain, but we know it's somewhere between 50 and 100 meters. Some of that uncertainty will be overcome by tasking the James Webb Space Telescope. All of our great telescopes have operation modes where if there's a time-critical thing that's happening in the universe, time on the telescope gets allocated to that event. And this counts as one of those, let's task JWST for helping us figure out exactly how big this asteroid is. The right question to then ask is how much damage would it do?
Do you think it's a coincidence that our society is in full breakdown mode? And there has been a certain somebody that has been screaming, send the asteroid, right? And now we have this guy who is the face of science, right? Talking about that we could potentially get hit or missed. It doesn't matter. It's the same thing with an asteroid within the next 5 years. It's fucking weird.
These things are moving very fast. The closing speeds are typically 20, 30, 40, can be as high as 50 kilometers per second. So that's a lot of kinetic energy being brought in. The good rule of thumb here is that the crater would be about 10 to 20 times the size of the asteroid itself. So 10 to 20 times something that's almost 100 meters, we would leave a crater between 1 and 2 kilometers across, right? A little less than a mile, perhaps. If the asteroid hit a city, leaving a crater nearly a mile across, that would be completely devastating. Destroying many buildings, killing many people. Most of Earth is water. Most of what is not water, that is land, is uninhabited. So chances are, if it does hit, it's not going to harm anyone. If it happens out in the middle of nowhere, then it's just an interesting crater. We have one of those in Arizona. It's called Meteor Crater. It's almost a mile across, and you can sink a 60-story building in the center. And when you add it all up, using this sort of arcane metric for describing the size of explosions, it would land at about between 8 and 10 megatons. 8 and 10 million tons of TNT, which was this metric invoked during the Cold War and the arms race to describe how much energy was being released with our nuclear weapons. So during that period, we actually detonated bombs of equivalent strength. And in fact, we detonated them in the ocean. And while there were local tsunamis, there wasn't a tsunami that took out the population of the world. So you don't want to be there when it happens, if it happens. I'm just telling you, no, civilization will not come to an end. We will not go extinct. We will not have to worry that we will suffer the same fate as the dinosaurs. So chill on that. The estimate for the chances of it hitting us are down between, at this moment, between 1% and 2% at the time of this recording. Now, what does that mean? I'll tell you. It means
that if it hits us, it really misses us. So it doesn't matter, sir.
that the orbital trajectory we have for it, when projected forward in time, has an uncertainty cone where the asteroid could end up anywhere in that cone, but more likely in the center of the cone. If it stayed in the center, you can ask, how close to Earth would it come? About the distance from Earth to the moon. Now, let me remind you how far that is. Often when people, if they were told to draw where the moon is from Earth, they might draw something like this. That's how it's shown in textbooks. They show Earth and the moon right there. That is not the distance, okay? If Earth were this size, it would make the moon this size. Its distance would be 10 meters away, 30 feet or more away. That's the distance, well outside of this framing. So if this asteroid, 2024 YR4, stays in the middle of its cone of uncertainty, it will pass Earth at about the Earth-Moon distance. Very safe. It'd be fun to look at with telescopes. It should be detectable. So this chance that the asteroid might hit Earth, we can ask the question differently. Say, if it were to hit Earth, what is the impact corridor that it represents? Since we can't pinpoint it exactly just yet, we can tell you what that part of Earth looks like. So it begins here just south of the equator in the Pacific, crossing the northern portion of South America.
Didn't we deal with this already? Can't we just send somebody in a spaceship to land on the asteroid and stick like a nuke in it and explode the thing so it goes in two different ways? It changes the trajectory and the cone estimation of the trajectory so it completely clears the the Earth. That's been done before, hasn't it?
Crossing the Atlantic Ocean, crossing northern Africa, crossing the Arabian Sea, India, and it ends right here in Southeast Asia. So this uncertainty is the intersection of its path and Earth's rotation. And that's what gives us this very long impact corridor. The press will make clickbait out of this, for sure. But as the orbit gets closer and closer to the 2032 January 22nd passage, that means our measurements will be better and better. So either that risk of hitting Earth goes to 100% or to 0. It will not stay in any number other than those two as our orbital calculations become more and more precise. 0, of course, there's nothing to worry about. 100%, at that level, we will know exactly where on Earth it will hit and when, so that we will be in a position to protect ourselves.
It's like he wants
in
it
advance
to hit Earth.
From whatever damage
The way
it would
he's
cause.
saying it.
You may remember NASA had a mission to an
Probably
asteroid
does.
to try to deflect its orbit.
Sick fuck.
Sort of as a test case in case something might be headed
This guy
our
is
way.
so arrogant.
Now that it has done that, knows how to do it.
Have you guys ever seen him on Joe Rogan? Right? The episodes he was on Joe Rogan. Like, Joe has the best temperament and personality because he speaks to all different types of people all the time. Super smart guy also, right? But he got Joe to the point where he was just completely fed up. And I believe he had to tell him to stop speaking. You know, so that turned me off so badly. It was super cringe, too, to even watch and listen to. The guy almost ruined the interview. You should go watch it when you get a chance.
Learn that it was successful. It gives us a little more confidence going forward for any subsequent asteroid that's discovered that might actually be headed our way. By the way, any country that has a planetary defense office is perking up right now because of these risks that we now know and can track. In fact, China, just as an example, didn't have a planetary defense office.
Is this going to be the new COVID, the new jab, the fucking asteroid the size of, a mile impact? Is this what this is going to be? Is this it? Are you basically telling us your plans so you're free from persecution when it happens? You can say, I told you guys, and 2 million of you guys watched it? Hey, I said it here first.
Until this asteroid's risk was calculated. We can only be safer in this world if everyone thinks about this problem in a coordinated way.
Together, right? And we'll tell you how to
And I've been duly notified that 2024 YR4 lands at around a 3 on the Torino risk scale. One of my lifelong friends who I went to graduate school with, his name is Rick
Because
Binzel.
you're so smart.
He invented the Torino hazard scale. Let's see what he has to say about this. You were at a conference in Torino, Italy, where you proposed a way to track how hazardous an asteroid might be. So remind me what you put into it.
Yeah. So first of all, the Torino scale is a 10-point scale from 0 to 10. All right. 0 is really good and 10 is a really bad day for the dinosaurs. And the way you calculate...
Wait, isn't this like a semantic argument? There's no good asteroid. It's all 10.
Where an object falls on the Torino scale depends on the size or the consequences of what that object would be if it struck the Earth versus the probability, the current best estimate for the probability that it could impact the Earth. And so it's 2 dimensions, consequence and impact probability.
So Rick, do we really have to remember these numbers on the scale?
No, on the Torino scale, we have the 0 to 10 system. But, at the lowest level, things are green. You have a green level, which means, this is normal. We're going to find a lot of these. We're currently at that next level up, which is yellow, which just says these merit attention by astronomers. So that's what level 3 is. And if the probability gets worse, we would go to orange, which means there's a possible threat here. And where we want to stay out of is the red zone of 8, 9, and 10, which means we have 100% probability of hitting the Earth, and now it's a matter of what would be the consequences. And those consequences depend on where the object lands.
So Rick, where is 2024 YR4 on the Torino scale?
I almost don't even believe them. Like, I just almost don't even believe that this is out there. It's pretty convenient to say that a massive fucking building is heading towards the Earth and might destroy us, smash us all into smithereens in 7 years. It's convenient. I don't really know what to believe anymore, honestly.
So 2024 YR4 ranks a 3 on the Torino scale, which means if it were to strike the Earth, it would be a localized event. If it misbehaves, it would go all the way up to 8 on the Torino scale. That would be its maximum. And I think the important thing about a 3 on the Torino scale is that we like to emphasize that most likely when we get more data, we'll be able to reduce it to 0. And 3 is also sort of an alert to astronomers to say, let's pay attention to this object. We're not worried about it. No one is panicked about it. But let's get the data and make sure that it's going to miss.
So, as of this moment, that's what's up with that. Until next time, keep looking up.
Every few months, a new headline warns of an asteroid on a collision course with Earth. But how real is the risk? You'll find somewhat reliable sources emphasizing the asteroid's magnitude and which countries might be spared, while other highly credible sources...
Anyway, okay, Neil, thank you for your analysis. Thank you for gracing us of your presence, your majesty. We appreciate everything you do for mankind. I don't know. If it happens, and we can't do anything to change it. So it's outside of our control. So who cares? And if it happens, even though we have no control. If it misses, it still hits us. And if it hits us, it still misses. So who cares?
I am 26 years old. I also just started an OnlyFans, so if you want to see me naked, subscribe.
With my career, I'm a professional whore. I stopped it. Why are you moving away? My body count's like I don't know, like definitely over the 100.
I think the world's ready for the asteroid. I'm ready for the asteroid. I'm not afraid. I think we've got to a point now we need to just welcome it.